Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you new to government contracting and you've been pursuing service-based contracts via SAM.gov, where you put in countless hours of assembling your team, putting together your responses to those RFPs, only to find out you didn't win, and you're feeling that the system may be slightly rigged against you, and you're just chasing your tail? Well, hey, don't give up. There is a better option, and it's called selling products to the Defense Logistics Agency, better known as the DLA. Hey, I'm the DLA Guru, and I've been in this space for the past 20 years, and I've put together a fantastic YouTube channel that's packed with information and hacks to give you some insight on how to position yourself to sell to the DLA. Take a look at my channel and subscribe today. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Yes, the DLA Guru. The DLA Guru is back in the building. Yes, indeed. Yes. Move my live stream to Sundays. For the past year or so, we've been having the live streams on Saturdays, and I'm finding that it's not as efficient as I thought it would be because the DLA, the DLA, they sometimes go, their Dibs website goes down, and I find that it's a little disruptive to my training, where we can't log into Dibs and actually answer questions directly on Dibs because the system is down for maintenance. This unscheduled maintenance, and it seems to occur intermittently on Saturdays. So I decided, I made an executive decision, and I said, you know what, let's move it to Sunday because the weekends work very very efficient for me. So I figured, let me test out Sundays for a change to see if my viewers would prefer to meet me over here in StreamYard on Sundays as it relates to going closed circuit. Yes, today is that day. Hopefully you guys got the announcement. I sent out a bunch of emails as well as on the members only tab to let you guys know that we moved it from Saturday to Sundays. I didn't get any emails. People were asking yesterday, like, where are you at? So hopefully all the information got to where it needed to be. Didn't get many confirmations as to like thumbs up that, hey, see you on Sunday. So hopefully we'll see if folks start to chime in. I know Sunday morning, it may not jive very well with people's, going to church and things of that nature, but I'm kind of testing Sundays, whether it's going to be a morning slot or afternoon slot. So if you guys have any feedback as it relates to, again, my members, if you guys have any feedback that you'd like to provide to me as to what time of day, morning or afternoon, works more effectively on Sundays. But this is, again, to align with Dibs. We don't want Dibs to go down while we're doing our live streams in the future. So hopefully this time slot works more efficiently and effectively, and you guys can get 100% of the quality of connecting with yours truly, the DLA Guru. So, but anyway, so we are here today. Looks like we got one concurrent viewer in the building. So doesn't look like we got a lot of folks that are chiming in. So maybe people are just still, just kind of getting their day started, or who knows, but we will proceed. And if you guys are not available to catch it live, you can definitely catch this particular live stream on the replay. So it will be available for you on the replay. And it looks like I may be doing a little struggle streaming today because I see a little choppiness. So let me know if you guys are chiming in a little late, if you are not getting the feed correctly. That is, like, my audio is not synced with my video. We're still struggle streaming with StreamYard. This is kind of a battle uphill that I've been experiencing, but the show must go on. But again, today is your bi-monthly scheduled live stream for my Brigadier Generals and my Patreon member community. Today is your day to meet me over here in StreamYard, to go to closed circuit, to talk anything and everything related to the DLA. We're talking about DLA national stock numbers. We're going to be talking about solicitations, vendor development. And yes, for those of you who saw the thumbnail, this is part 2 of what I tried to do in my last live stream, where Dibs was down for unscheduled maintenance. And I say unscheduled because they don't put announcements out to let DLA vendors know when the site's going down for maintenance. But today is going to be part 2. I double checked this morning. Looks like Dibs is up and running. It's up and running, it's rocking and rolling. So we will be picking up where we left off last week, where we're going to upload and show you how batch processing actually works and how it can definitely provide a lot of efficiencies and productivity increases on your end, bidding on those illustrious DLA contracts, because you guys know you got to bid to win. All right. And if you don't bid, you can't win. It's sort of like the lottery. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive in that today and give you guys an idea of like some workflows, some efficient DIBBS workflows. So let me go ahead and throw up on screen there. We're going to be talking today, for those of you who are just my general subscriber population, we're going to be talking about building an efficient DIBBS bidding workflow. All right, because I think in my 20 years of experience in doing business with the DLA and just federal contracting or just business in general, you got to have an effective and efficient workflow in order to you know, have success in anything that you do. And we have tried and proven methods. You know, my motto is there are many ways to skin a cat. Some ways you don't get scratched though, you know. And so what we're going to be doing, showcasing some things that we do internally and a lot of my students, as well as the newcomers to DLA contracting, where you guys may be able to get some nuggets on how you can cultivate and design a workflow for bidding efficiency on DIBBS. And DIBBS stands for, again, the DLA's Internet Bid Board System. All right. So today is your day. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the DLA Guru is cooking today. Again, today's closed circuit topic for those Brigadier Generals and Patreon members that are out there. If you guys are going to be joining me this Saturday, my live stream, again, this public forum is going to go for about maybe 30 minutes or so. And then we'll switch closed circuit and meet you over here in StreamYard. So for those Brigadier Generals, you know where to find the link. You go to the homepage of the YouTube channel in the community forum tab. There is a link to StreamYard that's for your eyes and your mouse clicks only as the Brigadier General members only. You must be a Brigadier General. And if you're interested in joining us over here in StreamYard today, feel free to look at the pinned comment in the chat below, and you will see a link that gets you over where you can upgrade your subscription. All right. Costs a little bit in order to connect with yours truly, but there is a multitude of information. There are tons of videos that are pre-recorded from other closed circuit training that we've done that will be at your fingertips for you guys to consume that data and that information as relates to me working with the DLA vendor network community, answering questions that could more than likely is going to align to some questions that you may have. Just a multitude of information there. So I welcome you guys to join me over there. So for those of you who are new to me and new to my content, my name is Kivi Hendricks. I am the U.S. government sales manager with the National Material Supply Company. All right. National Supply Company, we have been servicing the U.S. warfighter through DLA contracting for the past 20 plus years. And I've coined the name, the DLA Guru, for more reasons than one, because I have skipped my knee and bumped my head enough to know what not to do in order to be successful in winning repeated contracts with the Defense Logistics Agency. And I decided to launch this YouTube channel approximately 3 years ago in order to just share my knowledge with the community at large, to invite you guys to become one of the few proud and the brave DLA vendors in order to support the warfighter through government contracting and selling products, namely to support the U.S. military. Our company has won thousands of contracts over the past 20 years, and there's just a lot of information that's going to be out there in my channel, my catalog. I think we're approaching almost 400 videos in the catalog. So I invite you guys to subscribe, just consume the content. And again, welcome to my channel. Thank you for all the eyes and ears on the content. See if I can unmute the mic. Okay, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, we're struggle streaming. StreamYard is doing its thing. Can you hear me in the chat? Drop me a comment in the chat to let me know if you guys can hear me. Because I had the little pop-up just popped up there. Okay, good. Looks like we got 3 concurrent viewers in the building. Just drop me a little love and let me know if you can hear me. It says, yes, we can hear you. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right. Yeah, it looks like StreamYard just hiccup there. But again, in order to position yourself to be involved in this awesome community and this awesome opportunity of government contracting with the world's largest customer, you have to make sure that your company is eligible to bid on DLA contracts. And the way that you become eligible, it's free to do it. You want to make sure that you register your business on SAM.gov, www.sam.gov, and then you're going to log on to the DLS Internet Bid Board System, also known as DIBBS. And I'll be showcasing DIBBS today for those of you. So just hang in with me. I know we're about 10 minutes into today's live stream, but trust me, there's going to be a lot of nuggets of information that are going to flow to you. But again, logging on to SAM.gov, you got to be an official business, an LLC, an INC, or a nonprofit. You go on SAM.gov, you fill out the questionnaire, you upload all your documents, make sure that you have a registered business in your state, and you also have a business checking account in order for you the federal payments to come to your business through SAM.gov. That's all done there. And you will then be awarded with a UEI, which stands for a unique entity identifier, as well as a cage code that is governed and managed by the DLA. So the DLA is going to be with you in the inception of your ability to do federal contracting. So this is great for you guys because a lot of folks just say, okay, who's the DLA? What is that all about? Hey, they're all about selling buying products. We sell products to the DLA in support of the U.S. military. The DLA, they award approximately 10,000 contracts every single day, buying everything that you can think of, from food as well as clothing and materials and supplies in support of the U.S. warfighter, to the tune of about $51 billion a year. And they spend it, and they earmark about 85% of those contract awards to small businesses, woman-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, Hub Zone, 8A, as well as small disadvantaged businesses. The DLA is saying, hey, come register, get involved to support the warfighter. This is your best path in order to be successful in getting some government contracts under your belt, in order to have a little bit of that past performance in federal contracting. It's just the lowest hanging fruit. Now, you see the warfighter's hand in your face. His hand is in your face because if you don't go through SAM, go through DIBBS, it's a no bueno, no good. You will not be able to gain access to this fantastic market industry of federal contracting with the world's largest customer, the DLA. All right. So you guys probably have, for those DLA vendors, you've seen this warfighter's hand. I thought it was kind of cool to add that to the slide today. All right. So you guys know you got to be eligible. Now, the next step to building an efficient and effective DIBBS bidding workflow, in my opinion, you want to be able to locate your targeted DLA solicitation PDFs on DIBBS. And targeted PDFs meaning that these are products that your company has access to. All right. Through my training programs, I always say, hey, commercial off-the-shelf products are the best way to get started with government contracting with the DLA, because they buy a lot of COTS products. But guess what? They also buy a ton of custom manufactured products too, which is another level of the game. However, for those newcomers getting involved with the DLA, thinking about Granger.com, for example, or MasterCard, or other big box retailers like those companies, where you may be able to gain access to the types of products that the DLA buys. And each product that the DLA buys is associated with what's called a national stock number. All right. So the NSNs, they're very, very important as it relates to building your DIBBS bidding workflow. All right. So when you're logging on to DIBBS, you can bid on these contracts in one of two ways. You can either bid conventionally, meaning that you can literally print this PDF, you fill it out conventionally with ink on paper, and you'll be able to scan it and email it to the designated contracting administrator that's on your contract. And that's how you can submit a bid conventionally. But what we recommend you do, as well as I believe most successful DLA contractors, you're going to log into DIBBS and you're going to basically upload your pricing and your responses to those solicitations electronically. And there are 3 ways that you can upload your pricing to those solicitations. You can do it by way of manual bids on Dibs, which is basically like a 2-page document that you go through and you fill in. It's very repetitive, it's very cumbersome. It can take upwards of 2 to 3 minutes, depending on your workflow of how you can submit your manual bids on Dibs. And then the other way is by way of batch bidding, or EDI, which stands for electronic data interchange. EDI processes. That means where you have like a larger catalog and you're able to respond to multiple solicitations at one time. Keep in mind, the DLA, they issue about anywhere between 2,000 new solicitations on Dibs every single day. And again, to reiterate, they award out of that about 10,000 contracts every single day. And at any given moment in time, there are about 100,000 open solicitations for you to be able to kind of peruse Dibs and bid on. So today's workflow is going to talk a lot about those illustrious PDFs, because you got to get the information from the PDF to see exactly what the DLA is looking to buy so you can know how to bid. All right, so we're going to be showcasing that in my workflow, as well as using recommended NSN pricing tools. And so in-house, we constructed and we built, yours truly, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade. I work with a team of IT professionals, and we designed a fantastic tool that we use in-house called the NMS Part Pricing Tool. And there are a ton of you illustrious DLA vendor network members who've purchased the NMS Part Pricing Tool. And what that does, it helps to increase the efficiency of your workflow. Again, so keep this in mind. You want to focus on targeting your solicitations by way of national stock numbers. All right. You want to build a catalog of NSNs of these products that you have access to, and you want to store that data in a nice repository. And so the NMS Part Pricing Tool is what we designed in order to help with that. And so I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about what the NMS Part Pricing Tool is all about. As you can see, this is the GUI interface, the interface that you would basically log on to when you load the software up. And I'll go ahead and give you a real-time demonstration of what that tool looks like. So this is real time, and you'll see once you get into the tool, you install it either on your local hard drive, or you can put it in a cloud environment where you can then connect your team remotely to the tool, and everyone can put in their NSN data in one centralized location. This tool is designed specifically for DLA contracting, and it asks all the pertinent questions about that particular NSN that you've identified, as in you can load in the product title, the manufacturer's name, manufacturer's part number, your solicitation number, your manufacturer's cage code, unit of measure, all these different fields that you'll have to fill in, that is 100% required in order to have a little bit of an understanding of how to manage the NSN product catalog, and then to link it back to opportunities that you're bidding on, because the DLA is all about collecting data. And this is a great tool in order for you to collect that type of data. So once you load the software, then you're able to go to your output tab and hit refresh. And I'll just kind of show you real time of what that output tab looks like. And what this is doing is connecting to my local drive. And again, this is my demo version of our tool, and it shows you all the different NSNs that you may have included or loaded into your tool, and they generate what's called a log file. So you can put unlimited log files in this tool, and you can search within your database by any type of keyword, whether it's national stock number, cage code, part numbers, whatever you want to do. You can basically use the search field here, find it, and it highlights the tool. It highlights the log file. So let's just do a random walk. I'm going to look at log file 777. All right. So we'll go into here, and anytime that you want to bring that log file up, you can just, and I'm just doing a random number. Yeah. All right. So we bring up one of the log files that's in our database, and this tells you of a particular product that has a national stock number associated with it, meaning that these are the form, fit, and function, the salient characteristics that does not deviate. This is exactly what the DLA wants to buy, and you're able to connect to who your vendor is and put your pricing in there and know what your profit margins are like. So it's a nice, snapshot in time of your bidding activity. Now, what's so fantastic about this tool is once you're able to get your team loading this data in there, you're able to export this data as a as a catalog, right? As a CSV file or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And then you're able to take that data and put it into another tool. Again, we're talking about the workflow, another tool that helps you to bid using batch processes. All right. And so it's just, it'll all come together as you guys kind of rock with the DLA Guru. I'm going to take you through it and show you a real live demonstration of how we use our NMS Part Pricing Tool in conjunction with our team. And we're able to track those particular national stock numbers and connect them to real live DLA solicitations. All right. So first step, well, the next step in building your workflow after you have all your software behind you and you're already ready to rock and roll with your cage code and you have access to Dibs, then you want to use automation. All right. So again, this is an efficient workflow. Automation will make your efficiency and your productivity even greater as it relates to it. Because I think a lot of folks get burnt out by doing the manual bids on Dibs because, you know, you can bid on 30 contracts and, you know, maybe more. Like the conversion rate can be a little low because not only are you potentially you have competitors, but maybe the DLA, they remove those solicitations, they cancel solicitations and things like that. There's a lot of back end operations going on with the Dibs, even after you've bid on it. So let's say that you bid on solicitation manually on a Monday. On a Wednesday, that same solicitation may be canceled or removed because other requirements have flowed into the DLA where they need to maybe decrease the quantity or increase the quantity, whatever it is. They're connected to the demands of the warfighter. And all we are as vendors is basically meeting the DLA where they're at. And so automation kind of helps to increase your productivity and reduces the time spent in kind of like chasing your tail after opportunities. And so with the proper workflow, you can literally cut your time in half. And with that, this year, we launched the DLA BUS. It stands for the DLA Batch Upload System. Let me go ahead and demonstrate a little bit of what the DLA BUS looks like so you guys can kind of get an idea of what this website is. And so when you log on to www.thedlabus.com, you're going to come to this landing page here, right? And this landing page, I just invite you to look at it on your phone or your desktop, however, and just kind of consume some information that's there because it's going to give you a more of an idea of what the DLA batch upload system is all about. And of course, if you're interested in really getting to the nitty gritty and popping the hood and looking underneath it and kicking the tires with me, I highly recommend that you schedule a consultation with yours truly, the DLA Guru, and I can step you through and see how this system may align to your business processes and increase your workflow. But as you scroll down here, it's going to give you some information about the different plans that we offer. For those of you who have, in my opinion, I think you have to have at least 50 a minimum of 50 national stock numbers in your catalog. And when I say your catalog, that is your managed catalog of NSNs that you've actually bid on Dibs. Even if you haven't won those NSNs, like won those contracts, that's still considered a product in your catalog because, you know, it gives you time to go and negotiate and work with your vendor base in order to get better pricing or whatever it may be. Or you might, you know, have some economies of scale where you're buying in bulk because you've done the research, following my training, of course, and following what we do over here in the DLA vendor network to understand even increase competitive advantage. But as you can see on screen, we offer 3 different plans: the basic plan, professional plan, and enterprise plan. And it's a really simple process. And we've broken it down into a 4-step process of how you're able to generate a batch file based off of your actively managed NSN product catalog of 50 or more NSNs. Again, 50 is the sweet spot. That's what I recommend because with 50 NSNs, using the right types of software that we recommend, and again, that's all part of our training program, it'll teach you how to track those NSNs on a daily basis. Again, the DLA issues 2,000 to 3,000 new solicitations linked to NSNs every single day. So if you have a fairly robust catalog and you've done your due diligence and you found NSNs that have a demand profile behind them, you will find that the DLA is looking to buy those particular NSNs on a daily, if not weekly or a monthly basis. So just being positioned is the way that you increase your workflow in doing business with the DLA and using batch processes. So that 4-step process includes uploading your NSN product catalog, as you can see on screen here. to then uploading your targeted PDFs. So you have to collect those PDFs, and there are multiple ways that you can do it, which I'll demonstrate. And then you want to generate a batch file using our software in order to have a valid batch file that links back to those solicitations and provides your pricing that you will pre-negotiate those prices with your vendor base using software like the NMS Part Pricing Tool, for example. So it extracts, it all kind of comes together, these moving cogs in this wheel that come together and provide you with a very professional workflow that's repeatable and scalable and teachable as you build and scale your business to get employees working with you, because you want to get away from being a solopreneur. For those of you who are one man or one woman shows out there, to scale your team and get interns under your belt and other employees that can kind of work with you. And that's where the DLA bus becomes an effective tool. I'm telling you guys, a lot of the big players in the DLA contracting space, like the Supply Cores, the Noble Supplies, the Campy Components, the Scuzzy, for example, those types of companies use batch bidding in order to do their business. All right. And so as time goes on, I got some more nuggets, some more video content that come out, and I'll talk a little bit more about some of the tools that those companies are using, which we're starting to get more and more intel, because just diving into this batch bidding space, a lot of information has been coming. And I'll be demonstrating that today. All right. So first step, we're going to bidding so important, and why do I keep harping on it, and why have I invested so much energy to offering a revolutionary new tool? And again, we are the only company that's out there. Well, we are the first mover. I'm hearing some buzzing on the street that other companies are saying, oh yeah, the DLA Guru is doing batch bidding, let me do it too. And so it seems like they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So hey, thank you for the flattery. Thank you for the kudos, for those competitors that are out there that understand that this is the way. All right, I am your father, as they would say. But anyway, improved accuracy and standardization. First thing you want to do is DIBBS validation system. The DIBBS validation system on DIBBS, it catches any bid errors. So don't be afraid that, hey, once you create your batch file and submit it on DIBBS, DIBBS will let you know if there are any errors in your catalog, or you have the wrong cage code, the wrong part numbers. And that way you can go back into your NMS Part Pricing Tool and update the NSN with the correct information that the DLA is looking for. So it catches those errors. So that helps to increase your workflow. Two, faster quote submissions. And again, this reduces your time by using batch bidding and this workflow that I'm describing. And again, this is very high level, very general. If you guys want to get into the weeds with me, you got to schedule a demonstration consultation with me, because that's when I can really spend time and answer your direct questions. So again, I'm talking very 35,000 foot, very global as it relates to how the DLA batch system works. But again, it gives you faster quote submissions, meaning you're not spending 2 to 3 minutes per solicitation, like this repeated process that you're doing it over and over again. So it's going to reduce your time, because you're basically you're just managing your pricing at that time. You're not managing the actual information in your bid. All right. Better deadline management, meaning you can submit batches daily. All right. A lot of folks say that they have goals of doing, bidding on 10 contracts a day or 20 contracts a day or whatever, or 30 a week. And you find life happens and it doesn't become a priority, because a lot of bidding on DIBBS is kind of like just pipeline. You just get it in the pipeline. So batch bidding allows you to get in the pipeline more efficiently, so that when those illustrious traceability requests come, it's because you are just doing it every single day, but you're doing it without thinking. It's sort of like driving a 5-speed and eating a cheeseburger at the same time when you first learn how to drive a 5-speed kind of thing, right? And you find yourself shifting the gears without thinking. That's what batch bidding allows you to do as a DLA contractor. It also supports automated awards. So if you get any of those solicitations that you're bidding on that link to your NSNs that may be fast awards or whatnot, the DLA, they actually love the batch bidding system for automated awards. So it definitely supports it. That way you can bid more and win more. And there are no more missed opportunities. Again, I mentioned that if you bid on this on a solicitation on a Monday, then they remove it or cancel it on a Wednesday. And let's say that you only bid once a week. You may miss an opportunity to do the rebid because the DLA has increased the quantity or decreased the quantity. And then you find yourself like, wait a minute, I thought I bid on that contract for that NSN, and you find out that you actually did not because you weren't there every single day. Because the DLA does not make an announcement when they remove or cancel solicitation. They only make an announcement when they award a solicitation. So keep that in mind. Those emails that you get that say you didn't win, that's the only time you get an email from the DLA. So having a system and a workflow that you're on it every single day or every other day is going to be paramount to making sure you don't miss opportunities. And using batch processing, where you don't have to worry about doing the manual bids, you can grow your vendor base. It frees up that time during your day where let's say in that morning, you submit your batches, and then now you're able to kind of get back on the horn and make phone calls, shake hands, and kiss babies and win friends and influence people in order to negotiate better price points for those particular NSNs. So it gives you a lot of analytical data, the DLA Batch Upload System, where you know what NSNs are like the hot ones, which ones that you really got to start to work harder at getting better pricing in order to position yourself for increased wins. All right. So again, we consider the DLA Batch Upload System, as well as all the illustrious DLA vendor users that are using the tool during our beta testing phase. And again, I want to thank you guys for taking the plunge and working with your boy and what we're doing in order to increase your success and winning contracts with the DLA. So we consider the DLA BUS a winning system. All right, so let me go ahead and just give you a little idea of how this works as it relates to Dibs. And again, before I went live, Dibs was up and running. So let's just drum roll, please. Let's click OK. Let's see. Probably gonna get the warfighters. All right. No warfighters hand in the face. Dibs is up. All right. So I think Sundays might be my day. All right. Because last time I went live, when I clicked that, it was like, we're down for maintenance. All right. So a couple of ways that you can pursue this. Now, if you guys don't have third-party software and you just want to kind of get an idea of what's going on with the DLA, first thing I recommend you guys doing is going to the RFQ tab. And again, you see, I'm not logged into my own profile now. This is something that you can do publicly. Like especially if you're in the United States, because I think certain countries, the IP address blocks you. Well, no, I think you can come here, but you can't log in. So be careful that you don't want to log into Dibs when you're outside of the confounds of the United States, because you can get into a world of hurt where the DLA will revoke your access to Dibs because you're doing things outside of the terms and conditions of use of their software. But when you come to this page, the RFQ page, there's this box here that allows you to drop in your national stock numbers. So let's say if you had a list of national stock numbers that you may be pursuing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let me load up something. This is kind of off script. I just kind of thought of this. I'm like, you know what, this might be a way we can handle this. Let me show a quick little demonstration. Hey, looks like we got some good some folks in the building. Hey, I really appreciate you guys in the building there. And it looks like the audio is breaking up. Oh, I see folks telling me a little bit about what's going on here. Hey, I think this is StreamYard giving me a hard time. Give me the county blues here. But she's okay. And see, look, Jazz says, okay, it's good now. Okay, great. So it's good now. And yeah, so sorry again, guys. This has nothing to do with me, everything to do with StreamYard. But just work with me. Just work with me. We'll see if we can get through this, and hopefully it gets a little bit better. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is show you guys a little. I'm going to grab some national stock numbers that I think might be kind of cool to kind of drop in here. All right, so let me do this real quick. I'm loading up an Excel spreadsheet on my end here. Give me 1 second. It's loading. It's loading. And what I'm going to be doing here is demonstrating how if you have some national stock numbers that you've bid on in the past and you're tracking them. And again, I don't necessarily recommend this conventional way of doing this, but this is a way that you can do this. All right. So for example, I'm just going to take this judgmental sample of national stock numbers. And this is roughly 22 national stock numbers. All right. So you can literally, these are NSNs that are linked back to our product catalog. Right. And so these are ones that we have bid on in the past, either we've won and or lost them, but we consider these what I call managed national stock numbers. And you literally can go into Dibs, drop in your list of managed national stock numbers, and you can click the search field here. And once you click search, and again, you can do upwards of, I think you can load 99 NSNs in this conventional way, just to get an idea of what opportunities are out there. And you'll see that out of those 22 national stock numbers, it found 60 records. Now, this 60 is not a real number per se. And the reason why I say it's not a real number, because this 60 references all of the open solicitations that even may go back a calendar year. All right. So, and you'll see that as I demonstrate this in a second. But of those 22 NSNs, it found 60 matching records of open solicitation opportunities that are linked back to our catalog of national stock numbers. So if I click the return by tab here, then you see it reorganizes the data, and it tells you they wanted you to bid and return your bid by this date, which is February the 6th, 2026. So what that's telling you, that for those of you who have taken some of my courses, we talk about being a shipboat captain, hence the DLA bus. It actually, the logo is an actual bus. It's a C bus. For those people are like, what is this? Why isn't it a school bus? Well, it's a bus on water. That's what the logo is. But anyway, and so if you're thinking about navigating the seas, now you have what I call a stale fish, because this solicitation has been open since February and it hasn't been awarded. And a lot of times the DLA, the DLA, it is a federal contracting agency, right? So they're not 100% efficient. I think they're working on it, but however, it's been this way for 20 years. So they've been working on it for 20 years. But this particular solicitation, the chances of them awarding this one is 0. All right. But it still shows it's open. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, this NSN is probably repeated multiple times. As a matter of fact, let me just highlight this NSN to kind of demonstrate what I mean by that. So I'm going to highlight this stale fish that has a solicitation that's still open, but stale. All right. So we're going to go back to the RFQ tab. I'm just going to just demonstrate and just drop just that one NSN in there. And we're going to click search. Now, that one NSN has now brought back 14 records. All right. So out of those 60, 14 of them were linked to this one NSN. So now you can kind of get a better snapshot of what's really going on with this solicitation. And you'll see that February is still open. We got one in March. We got April. Now we got May, because we're getting into, the end of May going into June. Here's May, mid-May, mid-May, end of May. And now we're into June. So a couple of things that I would look at this and say, hey, this particular product, there probably isn't a large demand curve for it, because the DLA is just not awarding the contract. But they keep issuing these PRs out there because maybe different contracting agencies or different military customers, whether it's the Army, Navy, or Air Force, is requesting through these purchase recs. They're asking the DLA, hey, we need to get this. We need to get this. So there's a chance that companies are bidding these, but the price is too high, right? So the system just kind of kicks it down. That's one way. Another way is the original contract administrator has been reassigned and they didn't close out the rec. All right. So there's a chance that, one, there's low demand for the item. Two, it keeps moving around as far as from a management system internally within the DLA, which they're not telling us. Or three, that they're just basically, the pricing isn't right. And so they're just kind of waiting to see if the pricing gets right. And you'll notice here, this NSN has this big U, meaning unrestricted. So they're allowing anybody and everybody to bid on it, but for whatever reason, they're just not awarding the contract. Now, what does that mean? It means that I don't want to spend time bidding on this 14 times manually with the hope and a prayer that the DLA is going to award the contract. I want to come up with an automated system that does the work for me, because the NSN never changes. All the information for your NSN out of your pricing catalog never changes. So you come up with a batch system that says every single day, we're going to do a sweep and check whenever this NSN goes live for me to bid. And then I do my batch bidding on a daily basis. That's how you position yourself to have a pipeline that when the DLA is ready to award, that you're in there and not wasting your time chasing your tail. So that's one way of thinking of how the batch system will improve your efficiency of being positioned to potentially win these DLA contracts when it's time for them to make the awards or to request traceability. All right, so let me throw those 22 NSNs back in there again to kind of give you another idea of how you can kind of look at this. And so out of those 22, again, as a recap, we have 60 open solicitations, and we know not all 60 are worth their weight in gold. All right, so our system will basically be in front of this and finding the most recent NSNs, the most recent open solicitations, as long as you're using the workflow, so you can be on top of it and not get caught up in chasing your tail in this way, right? So of those 60, you can scroll down, you'll see that each one of these NSNs has a hyperlink for the solicitation linked back to it. So I'm just going to scroll down here, and you can see there's 2 pages of content. And what I'll do is just click on and see, because I ran a batch the other night. And let's do here. Okay, we'll click on this particular solicitation. I'll just click the hyperlink here. And so once you click the hyperlink, what this is going to do is going to load. I just want to give you guys an idea for those newcomers of what a DLA solicitation looks like. And you see it downloaded it into my downloads folder here. So what this looks like for, again, a matching national stock number to our catalog, this is the actual PDF. And we want to capture this PDF. And the way that you capture it is by using the URL that you see on in the header there. This is coming straight from the DLA. This is the DLA's URL for this particular solicitation. That's golden. All right, that's golden with our workflow. So you capture that in this that URL that links back to this actual PDF document. Yeah, I know I got this embedded Adobe in my browser, which I don't like. But anyway, I'm kind of old school. I like the standalone software and all this browser stuff. But as you can see, all this information is very important. And our software will basically scan this document and extract all the relevant responses and provide it in a batch file. All right. Now, let me go ahead and demonstrate that. And how many people we got in the building? We got 9 concurrent viewers in the building. Hey, let me know if you guys are kind of liking what the DLA Guru is cooking. I see we got Tina answering some questions, and thank you, Tina and Jazzy. Let me know that you guys were having some issues with my struggle streaming today. But hey, if anyone out there of the 9 viewers, if you have any direct questions as it relates to batch bidding, or if you're using batch bidding, or you're having some issues, or you can kind of see where there are some synergies of how this type of system, if you're learning something today, and how you guys can get more involved in joining our winning system as it relates to batch bidding. All right, drop those questions in the comment section there so I can get a little engagement from you. But let me do a live demonstration. Again, we're going to be demonstrating those 22 NSNs that I have generated a batch file for. And let me open up the batch file so I can show you what a batch file looks like. And a lot of folks are like, what the heck is a batch file? And what is all this? And I'll show you here. Our system will basically, as you load in your PDFs and you load in your NSN product catalog, it's going to generate a batch file, which is literally a text file. And it looks something like this. All right. So let me bring this over here. And it's a bunch of gibberish. All right. It looks like gibberish to us and looks like Braille almost, right? So that's what it looks like to me. But the DLA, they love this. This is what their batch file system needs in order to. All right. So again, our software will take your PDFs that you load into it. It will take your NSN product catalog that you load into it, and it will generate a batch file like this that you download out of the system. And it's tailored just to your company, right? And then you take that file, which is here, and what we're going to do is log into Dibs and show you how we can bid on 22 active solicitations as of today is the 31st. I think I generate this batch on the 29th. I wanted to kind of have something to show and tell for you guys, but let's go ahead and go to home. And a lot of folks, that I talked to, they didn't even know that batch was available. And so if you're interested in learning a little bit more about batch files, you can see right here on Dibs homepage. And keep in mind, I'm not logged into my account, but you go right here on the Dibs homepage and you go on batch quoting help, for example. And it kind of talks a little bit about, hey, batch files are limited to 75 solicitations per file and all this good stuff, right? So it tells you a little bit more about batches. I mean, hey, don't trust me. Go on Dibs and see for yourself. The information is right there at your fingertips. But again, once you log into it, into your account, and so I'm gonna go ahead and log in as myself. And so I'm logged in. You can see I'm logged in as myself, Kiwi Hendricks there. And then what we're going to do is click on this link that's right here. It's underneath batch quoting. So the DLA is all about either bidding on using their web form, that is the manual bids, or batch quoting. All right. And EDI is something else that happens not necessarily at the DIBBS level, but you have to work with the EDI team within DIBBS to connect it. And we're not part of the EDI program. EDI is really expensive. I personally don't recommend it. It's some really old, antiquated technology, and typically it's for companies like Boeing, like the bigger companies have those systems already in place. For those of us who are just, you know, lowly DLA vendors, I recommend batch bidding because one, it's a lot cheaper to do it. But anyway, so you click that link to go to the batch bidding interface within DIBBS, and then you want to choose, again, that text file that I just demonstrated to you, and we're going to choose that file. And so my system is loading. Give it a second. And I had one of those files already bookmarked for the day. And here's my demo test period. And so these are those 22 NSNs that I had mentioned. And we're going to upload those right into DIBBS, right? So once we upload those into DIBBS, that text file that I just showed you, then we click next. Once you click next, what it's going to do is look through your batch file, and it's going to validate your batch. And it's going to let you know, hey, did you have any errors, anything wrong with your offer? And as you go through it, it's going to show you again our cage code 1J8D2. I hear folks out there talking about no one shows their cage code, and you see that's irrelevant. But anyway, then you can say passed. These are of those 22 solicitations. Again, 22 NSNs, 22 solicitations that match to those NSNs as of, I believe I ran this batch on Thursday, maybe Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday. I ran the batch. Yeah, it was Friday. And so what it does, it just goes through this and says, okay, cool. All right. It's going to, 5:30. It shows the actual date that I ran the batch originally. And so it's showing you that all those solicitations, I'm bidding on those again to show you that the system is validating each one of those solicitations that I'm bidding that match to my 22 national stock numbers, my 22, right? And they all have passed. And all you do is click the next button from there. And very similar to if you're bidding more conventionally using the DIBBS manual system, you'll get that, hey, it's want to verify that you know what you're doing here. And that's all this particular screen says. Hey, you're confirming that you read and understand the notice. And you say, yeah, I understand it. Hey, I'm a professional DLA vendor, so I know what I'm doing here. So then you click submit. And what it does, it basically tells you, and I'll make it a little bigger for those of you in the back, your quotes were successfully submitted. 22 quotes have gone through, and it kind of gives you a snapshot in time of all the solicitations that you've gotten your foot in the door. Now, keep in mind, this is the first step of the batch processing system that we've designed of the workflow. Now, the next step is once your foot's in the door, now you can start to use, and again, you learn this more by being a part of the DLA vendor network, being a user of the batch processing system that we've designed, that it gives you time to now go back to your vendor sources and to work to negotiate better pricing. That way you can come back into your DIBBS platform and you can update or modify. You can requote these NSNs that you found better pricing. But the idea is get your foot in the door, get into the pipeline, because you may have the best pricing right there. And if your pricing is high, then you can come back and modify it and revise your bid at a later date before the actual bid is awarded or it's closed or anything. So hopefully you guys can understand the workflow that I'm talking a little bit about here. Again, very, very high level, but I want to show you in real time how this system works for us and how it could definitely work for you. And so we're in the pipeline. And now my team will then go and start looking at those individual NSNs that we have validated, got our quotes out, and see if we can get better pricing to come back in and kind of rework the system and rework our catalog in order to make the catalog, as I say, mend the net, mend your fishing net to make it more efficient or make it more competitive as you move forward through the DIBBS bidding process. All right. And waiting on your opportunity for traceability and whatnot. All right. So that's kind of what the DLA batch upload system is all about. I'm going to log off my profile because I don't want to get timed out and talking while DIBBS is like, hey, bleh. nothing's happening here. So they kind of kick you out of there. But just going back over here to the DLA bus, when you get onto the site, guys and gals, what I recommend, on the homepage here, just click that sign up here button. There's a brief questionnaire that we have in place because we want to make sure that the DLA bus is the right tool for you. So it's a small questionnaire that's going to ask questions about who you are, your company's cage code. We're going to get a little intel from you as well to know if the DLA bus is a viable system for you, because it's really not designed for companies that don't have a minimum of 50 national stock numbers in their actively managed catalog. So keep that in mind. Have 50. Have that be your goal. Bid on 50 contracts. Bid on 50 separate NSNs. Then come and talk to your boy, because I think having a system and designing a workflow behind this is you're going to see a lot of benefits, because this is what the big boys are doing. Now you may say, DLA Guru, so if it's that good, is it good for you? Well, keep in mind, guys, it took us a year to develop the system. For years, we've been doing manual bids, probably like what you guys are doing. And so being that I've been in the space of doing consulting and getting the feedback from vendors and understanding that, where people were having issues, as well as our own company, a light bulb went off in my head. And I said, hey, you know what? I think we need to develop a tool that will help our company be more efficient and also be able to offer it to my illustrious DLA vendor network members to say, hey guys, we can do this together, because the DLA needs us. All right, we got about 8,500 active vendors on Dibs, and as you guys can see, with that one NSN, all these openness, all those open opportunities, probably because no one's bidding the right pricing or whatever it may be, that allows us to kind of get in the game and get the DLA to get the information about who these viable vendors are. And then, believe it or not, the DLA will start reaching out to you. Hey, we saw that you bid on this particular NSN multiple times. We're thinking about doing a blanket purchase order agreement against it. Would you be interested in bidding on an IDIQ contract? That's the kind of information that starts to come your way. But again, you got to do the work. Getting rich is not what the DLA is all about, guys. All right. You got to put in some work. It's a system. It's a customer. It's a business that you design. It's a marathon and not a sprint, as people would say, as it relates to DLA contracting. But if you got repeatable systems and the right tools and the right workflow, you, my friends, can position yourself to have something pretty fantastic as it relates to doing federal contracting with the DLA. But again, back to the questionnaire that you see on screen here. Once you fill in all the blanks there, boom, 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 and that information comes over to us, we'll be able to connect back with you and let you know that, hey, yay or nay. Or if you're ready to rock and roll, then you can just go ahead and schedule a consultation right there with me. Now, scheduling a consultation is not free, because I don't have this set up to where I got a bunch of folks who are not vetted and know what the hell they're doing and wasting my time and theirs and everything else. So this is really for serious DLA vendors. And so there is a nominal fee that you'll have to pay in order to connect with your schedule with mine to get a 1 hour scheduled, prepaid scheduled demo with yours truly. However, in the event that you guys think that this is a winning system for your company and you sign on to be an illustrious DLA bus user, that scheduled consultation fee will be refunded back to you. That's my way of saying, hey, welcome to the family, and thank you for not wasting my time and not wasting your time. And this is the way that we do it over here. We're all about adding value in the DLA vendor network. And I almost forgot to show you, if you guys are interested in picking up a copy of the NMS Part Pricing Tool, if you're interested in picking up a copy, you log on to our friends over at hecdistribution.com. Right price, great products, goals met. Right products, great price, goals met. That's their logo there on the screen. And you can find the NMS Part Pricing Tool. You can download a copy. It's a standalone piece of software. It's a desktop version of the software. You don't have to worry about annual subscription. You guys know how all these software companies have these subscriptions for their software, like Microsoft, for example. But you own it. It's your software into perpetuity, and you can use it how you may. But when you log on there, it's currently on sale for $124.99. Again, you own you own a copy of the catalog, of the software, and you install it in your system. It's a pretty simple process. There's even a video that comes with the download that shows you how to install the software and how to use it. It's very simple, and we've had a ton of folks, vendors who have purchased the tool, and we get a lot of folks saying, hey, great tool. So anyway, this is where you can find that. Now you can find all these links to what I'm talking about that's pinned in the actual description of today's video. You can find the link to the DLA bus. Just kind of scroll on your YouTube there. You can scroll and click the link and bookmark this stuff. And you can also find the link to this catalog where you can purchase the catalog. And I think we also have it on the channel as well. So you can buy it right off through YouTube as well. However you want to do it. We find multiple ways for you guys to get involved. Okay, and let's see here. We got a comment that just came in here. We got Brother Jesse in the building. Let me see here. I want to make sure I can read it with my old eyes here. It says, hey, Kiwi, I'm having issues accessing the StreamYard link for the Brigadier access. Okay, Jesse, you said you're having issues. When you go to the home page of YouTube, and let me see if I can maybe, because, you know, well, Jesse, you know how to do that because you've met me over here before in the past. But let me make sure that here, let me check something real quick, Jesse. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. And let me click on here. Here, let me move this over here so I can kind of see it a little better on my screen. Give me 1 second, Jesse. I want to make sure that that we got that in the community forum tab there. And let me go to content. 1 second, Jesse. Give me 1 second. Just loading. Content. Okay, let me go to my post. And I want to make sure that the StreamYard link is correct because it should be correct. I know we have Rolanda is in the building, but she came through here through Patreon. So Jesse, let me make sure that you have today's link. And let me go and do an edit. The details. Give me 1 second here, Jesse. I think you should have the right link. I just want to double check that it's the right StreamYard link. Let's see here. StreamYard. How do we do this? Copy the link. And members only link. All right, Jesse, let me make sure it's the same link. Yeah, it's the same link. All right, so I see the link in there, Jesse. You just got to click StreamYard, and hopefully StreamYard is getting you access to it. Let me see if I can put the link in another browser and see if it, let me demonstrate or duplicate what you're doing there. And you see accept all cookies. Yeah, it's working. So the StreamYard link is working on my end there, Jesse. All right, so just go into the community forum tab and you'll see I put the link in there twice. I'm gonna save it, and it's for the Brigadier General. So yeah, go in the community forum tab on YouTube, and looks like the link is active for you to connect to it. Let me know, Jesse, if you're not seeing that. And I imagine that you're not seeing it because you haven't come into the waiting room just yet. I'm having issues accessing StreamYard link. Yeah, I would say take that link, Jesse, and copy it into another browser tab. You may also want to consider flushing your cache in your browser. And Jesse, I know you know what that means, man. You're in IT. So yeah, flush your cache in your browser and then reconnect on it and see if that gets you into StreamYard. That might be what it is. It could be your cache. All right, cool. All right, he says, okay, no problem there. And that might hopefully help you out there, Brother Jesse. But okay, so let's go ahead and get to the closing comments here. All right, looks like no one's asking questions. You know, the DLA Guru, I'm all about asking some questions, guys. We've been talking here for almost a little 58 minutes here. So let me go ahead and close this on out so we can start getting to my Brigadier Generals and my Patreon member community. Again, if you guys are interested in joining us over here in StreamYard, feel free to look at the pinned comments in the chat below. You can upgrade your free subscription, which I love my free subscribers, and to the YouTube University, and join us over here in the DLA Vendor Network, where we foster a community of just helping, adding value, and having a warm, safe place for you guys to come and talk anything and everything related to the DLA, answer questions, just add to the community and network, because you wouldn't believe getting through DLA contracting, having a community behind you and knowing you got a place where you can go ask questions, because the DLA is not an easy customer to deal with. Federal contracting, for that matter, is not easy. And so there's legal things that happen, and issues with payments. I mean, it's business, and so having a place where you can go and get some questions answered and find out and learn from other people skinning their knee, bumping their head, and figuring out, how it can definitely help to 10x your business, because it's all about risk mitigation. So I consider you guys having access to the members only content just gives you an insurance policy to mitigating risk of things going wrong, things going bump in the night, because things do go bump in the night, as it relates to government contracting. All right. So that's what the DLA vendor network is all about. So I say, hey, the best strategies to win DLA contracts, again, join us. You want to join us over here in the DLA vendor network. That's the first step. And let me go ahead and put my screen back on screen there. You want to join us. Without joining us and being a part of our network, you have access. By joining us, you have access to training programs that I have in place that so many folks have taken our training and have found success. Sister Rolanda is in the building, Brother Jesse, all these folks they're winning contracts, guys, and then it's because you're part of a network. All right. So networking, everyone is kind of talking to each other and sharing stories and maybe even collaborating on contracts. You may find some synergies and find someone, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so that's what the DLA vendor network is all about in our closed circuit community. And you get mentorship. You connect with me, yours truly, DLA vendor, twice a month over here in the YouTube and Patreon communities, as well as other things that we do, especially if you're part of our DLA Batch Upload System community, because I'm breathing life into this SaaS tool in order to make it more effective and more efficient. And I want to make sure that you guys are connected to me and I'm connected to you to help you and spur your success. You guys won't believe how happy I get when I hear the success stories of folks saying, hey, Kiwi, I want another contract and it's life-changing and I'm growing my business. It just does, it just does so much for me. It feels my way of giving back in a way, so there's just a lot there. As you guys get to know me, you'll know I'm all about your success. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the DLA vendor network, I recommend connecting with me over on LinkedIn. You can find me by my alias at the DLA Guru. Just log into LinkedIn, put at the DLA Guru. You'll find my profile. You can see my accolades and my background. If you're like, who is this brother talking about the DLA? Everything is there. Don't let the gray hair fool you. I'm a 70s baby. I've been doing this a long time, and I believe in helping people. And you'll see all that over in LinkedIn. And I recommend that you reach out to me and try and ask to join our invite-only LinkedIn community as well. I think we're probably 140 companies strong over in LinkedIn now. So that's another community that you can peruse the catalog of the DLA Vendor Network LinkedIn community members, and you may just find some opportunities to connect with companies that do what you do. And form like Voltron and get it done. All right, cool. And if you're interested in talking with me and scheduling a 15-minute pre-screening phone call with yours truly, DLA vendor, you can connect with me as well when you log on to www.thedlaguru.com. Yes, that is my website. You'll see a link that allows you to schedule a 15-minute pre-screening phone call. We can talk anything and everything related to your business, find out where you are in your journey. If some of my training programs, you have more questions about the DLA bus, this is one way that you can get me on the actual horn. And sometimes talking on email is not the most effective way if you're old school like me, and get me on the horn. So you can do that. And again, just joining any of my membership opportunities that are out there for you guys to kind of scale your business, especially for my newcomers. I highly recommend that you get plugged in so you can avoid any of the mistakes. I wanted to say thanks again for watching. Thanks for joining me on Sunday. Looks like I had a pretty good viewership. So, hey, Sundays may be my day. Again, I can get some feedback if you like Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. I'm a little flexible. I try to, create, value in many ways. So I may be experimenting with some morning sessions and some afternoon sessions in the future if I don't get any feedback, and to kind of see what works best for the community at large, as well as my own personal life here too, so yeah, hey, we're all people. If you're interested in contracting consultation with yours truly, DLA Guru, feel free to send me an email at fed.contracting@nmsupply.com. It's generic, but it comes to me, and we can and I can answer any questions via email as well. So just multiple ways to reach out and touch your boy. All right, I'm going ahead and close out today's live stream, and it looks like we got 8 concurrent viewers in the building. Glad to see you guys were in there with me today. I always say, think not what the DLA or the warfighter can do for you. Instead, think what you can do to support the DLA and the warfighter. The DLA's motto is warfighter always, and that is our motto here in the DLA Vendor Network as well. So my friends, thanks again for joining me on this Saturday morning. And hey, you know where to find me. This time, this place, 2 weeks from now, you can find your boy, the DLA Guru. Hey, feel free again, subscribe to the channel, share it, like, all that good stuff. Help to promote what we got going on. So until I see you again, I'll see you at the top.